All right. I think we're live. Garrett, are you ready to go?
Oh, are we on?
Yeah, here's your microphone, dude.
Cool.
Cool. All
Where's
right. Tax City live stream that was supposed to be Wednesday, but now is on Friday today. I am Zach, and I'm joined here with the other tech, Garrett. I know I'm not really on the streams. Garrett's been on the streams before.
What's going on, guys?
Kevin is not here today. Today we're going to be discussing MOSFETs right now. Our favorite MOSFET, what we have available, and what we recommend for your gun. I wanted Garrett to be on the stream to basically talk about what we have to offer and what each one of them do. So Garrett, if you want to talk about one MOSFET that's on the table right now, what would you choose to put in your gun right away?
Sure. Let's pick the one I have the most experience with right now. I'm going to go for this guy.
No problem.
So I got in my hands right here in this unassuming white box. This is actually a Gate Titan Advanced, which is what I prefer.
No problem.
Open that up. You guys can see I'm not lying to you.
Oh,
There it is.
no, put it on the GoPro. So.
Oh, we're from the top screen now?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is what we got going on right now. This is our Gate MOSFET. It comes with an installation kit and the MOSFET itself. Nothing else. They used to sell these things with the USB links for about this amount of money. They no longer do.
How much is it?
This one's going to run about 155, 160, something
After
like that after tax. Yeah. Ballpark. It says 148.49 there on the box.
What is the difference between these two MOSFETs though? Because this is the basic right here.
Yeah, that's the basic one. So the hardware on these two are the same. You can actually take this guy right here. You can take the standard Gate Titan and pay Gate money. It's like DLC for your MOSFET. And you can actually unlock the capabilities of the advanced one. And there's actually one more step past that. They also have an expert version. I think the advanced strikes the perfect middle balance between capability and cost. I've seen some of the expert firmware. I don't think most of that stuff is honestly very useful. This is good if you just need a MOSFET to throw in your gun. And you're not a tech like I am, and you don't really care what your amp char is, trigger response.
For me, common, I like to use this one the most, especially with customer builds. It is easier to use. It's mostly people who want Titans. They want it to.
They want the cheaper one. They just want a Titan, and they don't care about looking at all the other stuff.
Exactly. So I know personally, two of my personal air rifles that I have at home have the basics in it. My main rifle at home, though, does have the advanced in it. I know yours does too. We talked about it the other day.
Yeah, I've actually I have two advanced Titans. One of them was a front wired one that was given to me by a good friend of mine. Shout out Cameron Knott. And I have it in a rear wired gun right now because it's got a plastic body and the receiver can flex enough for the wires to actually run all the way back through the buffer tube. And the front wired ones are a little bit different, actually. If I pull this out.
Careful, that's like
I know.
Precious. That's like rare right now.
Precious, yeah. Well, not anymore.
Oh yeah, not anymore.
Because just got a whole bunch of them, and that's why we have them back in stock too, because they're available.
We're at the top camera right now.
Give me the front face camera. Man. You keep
front
swapping back and forth.
Well, I'm trying to make it more interactive.
Okay, so these wires right here. I will set all this back up. You guys won't even know which one that I opened. These wires right here, this is your power cable right there. The front wired ones are not one long cable like that. They actually, because of the way front wired guns work, generally you have to be able to unplug that partway through. So they actually have just a set of spade connectors like you would find at any other front wired gun. And it just so happens that that is exactly how G&G does a lot of their combat machines, except they're rear wired anyway. So I was able to use that buffer tube. It's literally just a combat machine body with a Titan in it, but there's a little bit of bulge in the receiver. It's just funny that I've had that thing so long. I've actually had that single MOSFET since 2017. The reason I wanted to mention I've had that Titan for so long is because I know a lot of people who are trying to build high performance, high stress guns pick Titans and they end up breaking them a lot. And there are only a couple MOSFETs that I've known about that have been able to handle, extreme amp draw without generally breaking all the time. And they don't really make them anymore. I'm talking about the Black Talon concepts, Chimera and the Spectre as well. Those ones are pretty good.
It's like old school though.
Yeah, and now they're nowhere at all.
Well, you could, yeah, they're probably out there somewhere.
Used, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, like,
used,
I
of
don't
course.
know. The company's like been back and forth between production. Hey, they're alive again. Oh, they're dead. Final MOSFET. Hey, they're back. Oh, they're actually doing warranty now. So, you know, it's kind of like the company Contour as well.
So we do got somebody in the chat, Leafy fan. What's up?
What's up, Leafy?
This
fan?
is Hudson. How's my SEMA going? I think Leviathans are the best. How's your SEMA? Is it
I don't know. We have a couple Siemens.
Yeah, we have a couple SEMAs right now.
If you give us a phone call right now, we won't answer because we're doing a live stream.
Yeah. So now we're going to move on to our next MOSFET.
Which do you prefer?
So with me, when it comes to MOSFETs, and this is something new that I've been working with, and I just picked one up recently, and you know that, is a Jeftron Leviathan. Now hear me out, because you already know my issues with it, but you know I really like these MOSFETs. So I'm going to pull this out of the box real quick. So Jeftron Leviathan is basically Titan's competitor, but it's a little more advanced than Titan's.
I don't know if I'd say that.
It's a lot more easy.
Different features.
Different features. One feature being that the trigger is one thing that I'm still working with.
Well, how about the fact that it actually comes with a speed style trigger that's totally tunable and adjustable?
It's basically a speed trigger. It's the same thing as the AEG speed triggers where it's adjusting inside the gearbox and you just adjust it to the button. The difference between this MOSFET and a Titan that I like is that it has a switch on it.
Yeah, so are we on this camera?
We're on this one right
This
here.
one. Okay, so this MOSFET right here actually has a physical tactile micro switch. You probably won't be able to pick it up, but it does make a very, very slight click when
Especially
you tap it.
with
And you can feel it, which is nice. It actually feels like the old BTC MOSFETs.
It
It's
does.
not quite as tactile as a Polar Star Fusion engine, which is my favorite because it's got the clickiest button. But these are pretty good, and you can spam them really fast. These ones, all of these Titans right here, Asters,
PERUNs.
no, those are magnetic, right?
Yeah, it's still optical though.
No, that's not optical. It's
not?
different. Anyways, the rest of those, not the Peruns, those are optical MOSFETs, which means they have a laser beam sitting somewhere inside your gearbox waiting for your trigger to get in front of the diode or the emitter. So there's no actual tactile click. Your gun just goes off once it hits a certain point, and you can adjust that. This one, your micro switch is always in the same spot, but I honestly prefer a tactile micro switch because I like the way it feels.
With this one, you do have this metal bar right here to protect your trigger pull too.
Yeah, so this is removable.
Removable with caution.
Yes, extreme caution. I did it. This is the MOSFET. I really don't have very much experience with Leviathans, but the times that I have installed them and used them, I've been impressed.
And I just did one on my 416.
Yeah.
On my air rifle, and I did the mod that you told me to remove this bar, and it was pretty nice.
Well, I wouldn't call it a mod. They say in the manual that it's removable. It's just they don't make it easy.
Yeah, it was very hard, very scary, but it feels nice. Like I like the trigger pull, especially with this trigger. The only thing I do not like about Leviathans, and this is my honest opinion about it, is that it's very hard to put aftermarket triggers on.
You do have to modify the shape of them. That's
So-
why they probably sell it with their own.
Yeah,
If you have a particular kind of look you're going for with your trigger, maybe Leviathan's not your first choice.
but as for accessibility, tuning it, and all that, I'm gonna switch to the next camera. As for tuning it and all that, it's fairly simple. I use one in my Airfire AK. Yeah, you've seen the
V3, right?
the V3, the Warhead one that I have. I really like how the settings work on it than Titan, because Titan, you need the USB link, and not for the new ones that are coming out.
Well, you can get a blue link too.
You can get a blue
go
link?
straight to your phone. Honestly, I will say I might prefer the Leviathan app. So I don't think the Peruns have this capability yet, but
They
Big
need
Titans, they make an adapter. You can plug these cables into your Android. Can you hardwire them straight into an iPhone now? I don't know if they make a
Yes, they
lightning
do make an
adapter.
iPhone cable.
Okay, they didn't used to. So these guys you can use with your phone, or you can they sell a little dongle you plug into the end of your wires that will make your MOSFET Bluetooth capable. Now, what we don't have on the table from this company here is a Titan 2. Those ones are actually, you can't plug it into your computer or your phone.
They're
but
straight Bluetooth.
Yeah, they're Bluetooth. The
Just
MOSFET
like the
itself,
Jeftron.
The MOSFET itself is Bluetooth. So as long as it has power, you can connect to it and tune it like that.
I do like how the tuning capabilities are on the Leviathan. It's a lot more detail than Gates, and you have everything unlocked on it. There's no like certain levels like Gate does.
Yeah.
So I really like that. The only thing is, the thing I really like about Gate Titans though is the brushless mode. Especially if you're using a brushless motor, it feels a lot more cleaner on a Titan than it does on a Leviathan.
I've messed around with a Leviathan with a brushless motor, and I didn't really have very many issues with it. I actually got my hands on, somebody brought in the Real Deal Airsoft. He's another tech. I think he's somewhere over in the East Coast or something like that.
He's a really good tech.
They brought in one of his pre-built DSGs, and it was, I think, one of the basic ones. And I was actually I liked it. Leviathan and brushless motor are not a bad combo. I think people will tell you horror stories or that, sing great praises about Titan compatibility with that. I think it's kind of hit or miss, and I don't think the Leviathans are immune from that. Brushless motors are pretty new to the market. Everything.
And
when
me,
you really put it into perspective.
I've been experimenting with brushless motors, especially with Leviathans.
Well, let me finish really quick.
Sorry.
I don't think the companies that make the MOSFETs and the motors have really had enough time to work out all the kinks where you're going to have it, it's not exactly directly plug and play in every case. Sometimes there are other things that need to be accounted for.
Well, we got some comments right now. So Leafy says, the warranty one that I dropped off the other day, it's the Umbrella Corp one.
Is this an AK?
I think it's the M4 from the other day, the PERUN one, or no? Is it?
I don't know, man.
We gotta check.
I thought I heard Lancer earlier. I'll be honest, man.
And then,
this is probably not exactly the place you want to be asking us about that, because we're kind of trying to focus on these MOSFETs right now. If you have questions when the stream's over, you can give us a call and we'll talk to you one-on-one there, but this might not be the most appropriate place to be talking to us about that.
Then Julian M says, fix my PERUN.
For sure, man. Or you can buy a new one.
You can buy a new one.
Faster.
And then Leafy also said our mics are cutting out. We'll find that out here in a bit.
Is it me?
I think it might be you or me.
Check 1, 2.
I think we're fine right now. And then I'm thinking
we'll
about buying a DSG you guys are selling for 1,080 right now.
1,080. I don't know. You might have missed the 5. The last time I saw that, that's the one I built actually. That's that has one of these in it.
Wait, let's
and a 22K.
And a 22K right there.
Yep.
We have the other DSG that I built. That's
not the one he wants though.
That's not the one he wants. Yeah, yours is actually pretty cool. I want it.
All right.
And we do have a couple of customs right now, especially we have one with the PERUN, we have one with the Leviathan. We don't have any with the Titan, but
we hadn't had Titans for a while. I think we haven't had Titans for what, 2-3 months, maybe more.
A little bit more.
Yeah,
because we've been telling a bunch of people to just outsource them.
Honestly, this is the most popular and most common, probably most recommended MOSFET on the market. Just don't try to build, a 40 RPS SSG and plug a 60C battery into it and expect any MOSFET to be able to stand up to that. Because, I don't know, man. BTC doesn't make their stuff anymore. What's cool about these, actually, is unlike the Titans, these ones just have a digital fuse. Sorry. These guys don't have a digital fuse. These ones, or rather, they do only have a digital fuse. These guys actually have a physical fuse right there in line. So that can pop and potentially save your MOSFET from frying. Now, I haven't really messed with these enough to where I've needed to figure out how well that works yet, luckily.
So I think we've talked enough about the pricey boys. Let's move on to more of a budget MOSFET. What do you think about that, Garrett?
We could talk about the budget ones, but I think this one's kind of an outlier, honestly. Right here, we have the PERUN for the Vector.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I asked for some of the AUG ones as well because I wanted to take a look at those. We couldn't quite get those in, but we do have probably the best option for any of you vector guys out there.
So here we go. We're in the front camera.
Sweet. I guess I'll hold this bag up.
I don't want to take it out of the bag.
Yeah, no, we're not going to open that. That's a little too difficult to put back.
But basically, it replaces all your electronics inside the vector. And
yeah, I think this one goes in the bottom half of the shell. Have you ever messed around with the vectors too much?
Not enough to be confident enough to put this in yet. I want
For sure.
But I know you have, and I know you fixed a couple of our rental vectors to talk about it.
Yeah, I've also done like a speed trigger install on a custom gun. The Crytek Vector MOSFETs, the stock ones are kind of strange. They're like a two-piece thing. So when you're remove your like upper half of the body from the lower, the MOSFET actually separates in two, which is weird. So I don't know if that's going to be using the same system or if it's just going to totally replace all of that. But I will say that having shot the stock Crytek Vector, I think the stock MOSFET leaves a lot to be desired.
We have one more person in the chat. What's up, Lemon? Oh, it's Lemon.
Who's that?
He does all the videos for SpeedQB and all that. He
Oh,
does all
for
those
sure.
cool videos. What's up, Lemon? E4 motor recommendation.
E4?
Yeah.
Oh, EVE4, the KWA.
Yeah. I mean, I've had luck with ASG just dropping in.
Yeah, ASG Infinities.
Yeah. I really
that's
like
what
the
we've used.
22K in it. It's very snappy. I've done a couple already with 22Ks.
So, excuse me. I think we've mentioned this on the stream before. If you're trying to get into the higher rates of fire, like potentially like 12 to 1 with a 30K, you know, pushing like 25, 30, 35 RPS, the EVE4s are not the greatest platform to chase that on because we have some, I wouldn't call it insider info, but you know a guy who worked at KWA.
Who helped build that gun.
Well, I don't know how much we were going to say about it.
Yeah, but I'm not going to say his name, but
Yeah. But they have some tappet nozzle timing issues, and I think if you're running the stock gear set, you can probably get away with a 30K, but a 22K is definitely a happy medium as well. It's not going to get that hot. They have a nice amount of torque to pull whatever kind of spring you throw in there, even if you tune it all the way in. So that would be my recommendation.
And another thing for EVEs, this is something I'm going to put out there. This is something we've noticed. The only MOSFET that works with EVE right now is going to be the Gate Titan V2s. If you're trying,
Or the Titan 2s.
Or the Titan 2s.
Kind of.
Kind of. So if you, and I'm going to put this out there for the world to know, if you are trying to upgrade your gun, or not your gun, your air rifle, especially when it's KWA, the best MOSFET we're going to say that's going to work no matter what. If you drop in, no mods, no nothing, is going to be a Gate Titan.
Basic or advanced Titan. Yeah.
Yes. Not an Aster, not a PERUN, not a Leviathan, won't fit in there.
No. KWAs used to be notorious several years ago, for not accepting any kind of MOSFET without major modification. And then they decided, hey, you know what? We're going to take the most popular MOSFET, Gate Titan, and we're going to make our gearboxes compatible with them. Now it's been a couple years, and it's still the only MOSFET that really works in those, unless you have a very steady hand and you're willing to spend a lot of time dremeling, I would imagine. I honestly haven't tried anything else other than a Titan, but we do thank KWA for at least letting us throw these in their
Acknowledging
guns.
it.
Yeah.
So one thing also I'm going to put out there for the world to know is the best MOSFET to use on Crytax, because we've been getting a lot of Crytax lately, is actually a Leviathan. This is the cool part about the Leviathan that I really enjoy, and I'm happy that Leviathan does it. They have a breakaway tab for basic.
You don't want to show that off?
Oh,
I'm
I guess
kidding,
I
I'm
could
kidding.
show it off. I guess I'll show it off.
No, don't do it.
I mean, it's
Make
already
it a
out.
joke. They have a segment on the board that doesn't need to be there, and it's already perforated in order to fit certain gearboxes.
Kind of hard to see, but it's in gold print right there that says break off for Crytek gearbox.
You literally snap off that part of the board.
Yeah, you just take pliers and it comes off.
There's nothing important there.
I mean, it's a board though. If you mess up, you mess up though.
Well, no, I don't think there's any electronics in there. Otherwise, they wouldn't make it so you could break that part off. You know.
But I really appreciate that. Jeff.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Crytek's were not too much of a pain, but they definitely needed modification. When the Titans were the real only contender, they took the market by storm. You know, probably like 2017.
Yeah, you would have to get inside the gearbox, cut a little tab out just for the Titan to fit, and I think Asters just drop in easily, right?
I think so. You would also have to modify something on the other half of the shell. I've seen a couple people break Titans that way, and I've done it once myself, so I know not to do that anymore. Actually, Logan did that.
Shout out Logan.
Yeah, we miss him.
And
Rest in peace.
so now I'm gonna go over my favorite budget one.
Oh yeah, budget. Yeah,
Yeah,
been like 10
budget.
minutes. Sorry about the segue.
My budget one, when say a guest comes upstairs, they have a G&G combat machine, and they want a MOSFET to just work in their gun right away. They don't have to worry a lot about the price. It's just ready to go.
Do we have that one on the table?
Yeah, we do actually, surprisingly. Can you guess which one it is?
Not the V3 hybrid.
Of course not. I'll talk about that one later.
Okay.
But I think you've seen me sell these. It's actually the Gate Aster SC.
Oh.
Especially these ones. So these ones are basically, it's kind of weird, three tiers right here. But
yeah, we got a couple different Asters.
Yeah, so we have the Gate Aster SC. This one comes in a plastic bag. This one's my budget one.
So this one comes in a box. What's the difference between the box and the plastic bag?
Honestly, I'm still trying to figure that out.
One of these comes with a trigger, right?
Both of them come with trigger.
Oh, they both do?
They're just different design triggers. So this one is like a surprise box of, hey, surprise, I give you a cool trigger. Let me see if this is open already, and I'll show you what's inside this wonderful bag. So it's kind of weird. It's all plastic wrapped and all that. So I'm gonna go down to the facing down. So you get this nice little note about it, and it comes in this little baggie right here that opens up, and you get these cool things called the quantum trigger. Let me go to the other camera and show you guys. You get this cool thing which eliminates the back sticker of your gearbox, and it drops in, and it's fancy.
Oh, is that what they're for?
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I have zero experience with these Gate quantum triggers. I haven't done anything.
I'm the guy who mainly deals with them. It's cool though, and it eliminates all the extra stuff that Titans usually come with in the box. So it's very simple, very, like, you get your programming chip, you get your stickers, you get extra Dean support so you can redo your Deans.
Have you found any guns that trigger is not compatible in?
Not yet.
Okay.
Not yet, but
that's good.
But say you don't want to use this trigger. This is what I like about these. They still give you the back stickers so you can put like a speed trigger, max trigger, or even a stock trigger in. But in the end, it comes in this nice film, and it's a Gate Aster. But the thing that is different from this Gate Aster from our full-on Gate Aster is there's some settings on this that are not on this, like how the Titan Basic and the Titan Advance is. Almost similar stuff, but
I think that's going to be rolled out with all of the newer Asters. So in the same way that you would have a basic and advanced and an expert version of the software on the Titan, you now have basic and expert versions of an Aster as well. And if your gun is drawing too many amps and you have the basic software, it will actually tell you, hey, this is for, you're supposed to use me in mid-range guns. I'm drawing too much power. You got to upgrade. We experienced that recently.
And they'll give you a bunch of ads to buy Gate Titan, Gate Titan, Gate Titan.
You already have the Aster.
Yeah.
I would say just upgrade that. It's probably cheaper.
So with the Gate Aster, it is my go-to if you're on a budget, you want to make your gun fast, or your air gun or your air rifle faster. That was my bad. If you want to make it better and faster and more responsive, I do recommend this. This is actually a very good price. It comes out to be about like $88 to $90 at the end after tax. I work with these a lot.
Less than $100, not bad.
Under. All these are like over. And this is like the budget one. This is like if you're on a strict budget, you're trying to do a build, it saves you money. You can get yourself a motor with it.
Well, I wouldn't even say that it would give you like budget capabilities. It can do about 80% of what the Gate Titans can do. If you're really getting into the weeds of like tuning your active brake and your pre-cocking to get your gun to shoot a certain way, I think I ran into an instance where I couldn't quite do that with an Aster the same way I would with a Titan. But something else to note about the Asters, they actually don't draw as much power from your motor as the Titans do. These guys, especially if you're doing the oh so popular like 12 to 1, 13 to 1 with a 30K boost, ASG boost motor, you're gonna have to buy a couple batteries or get a stubby stock and run a giant battery like most people do, because these things are everybody, dude. Half the guys with a die mask and a TLR on their AEG are probably using something similar.
I think
that's SHS high torque boost.
I think
motor.
me and you are like one of the very few people who cut holes in our stocks and run their big batteries on the side of our stock.
I didn't even cut a hole, but anyways,
I did.
Gate Titans are power hungry. Asters less so. You can actually leave the same battery plugged into a gun with an Aster in it for longer. The Titan is going to drain it quicker. I don't know about the rest of them though. Speaking about the rest of them though, my favorite budget one.
Yes.
Or is there something else you wanted to say?
No,
I figured I'd just start talking about this
I'll
one.
talk about V3s here in a bit.
Okay. Honestly, my favorite budget one, the Aster's a good choice. I thought you were going to say what I would expect Kevin to say. He loves his V2 hybrids.
He does. So Kevin is a big PERUN guy. He likes Titans, but he loves PERUNs. Like
he swears the trigger is just as good.
He swears.
I don't agree. But this one is my favorite right here, actually.
So what is that one?
So this is, you have to have a G&G with the G&G ETU. This is the PERUN ETU++. This one uses the existing micro switch inside of those G&G guns. And what it actually does is it replaces the back board itself on the G&G guns. Literally has, it replaces the back half of your wiring. Earlier I talked about how combat machine wires, you can kind of separate them. The ones with their ETUs are the same way.
SSG ones, for instance, this will work on an SSG one.
It's actually small enough you will not have to modify your stock that I will not share
Your
my
amazing
opinions of.
stock on the SSG one.
Yeah, you won't have to do any
apart.
modification if you want to throw one of those guys in there. Which is nice.
Also on ARP9s, we usually recommend this one on ARP9s mainly.
ARP9s, ARP556s, Predators, any of their top tech guns have that MOSFET in there. Even the AKs, man.
Oh yeah, it works
Right?
on there.
Yeah.
Well, it's hard to get G&G AKs now.
It doesn't matter if it's hard. If you have one, you can buy this for it, and it's a straight up upgrade. This lets you tune your active braking, pre-caulking, stuff like that. So, kind of the basic meat and potatoes of what you want an advanced MOSFET to do for $55. And they're also just, if you have an ETU, your backboard is eventually probably going to stop working so well. And so this is the best solution for it.
So
we actually have a custom with one of these in it right now and a 22K motor. If you like ARP9s, it has a stubby stock. You should come buy it.
So speaking of, you brought up one word here, AKs, which are version 3 gearboxes.
Whoa, segue.
Segue. So we do have a couple V3 MOSFETs actually right here.
My favorite.
My favorite. I'm the one who works on them. So right here, we're gonna have the Titan. We're gonna have a Titan for the V3 MOSFET, and it comes with a USB link here, which is something I do recommend picking up, so you can modify your gun at home too. And then we also have the V3 hybrid. Now, the V3 hybrid is gonna be our cheapest choice right here, but it is a little bit more difficult to install than the Titan ones. So
is it really?
Yeah, you have to solder the wires and stuff.
Oh, they don't come pre-soldered?
No. Oh, this one's taped up. I would show you guys, but I don't want to break the tape. And
yeah, you just have to Google it yourselves.
So this one I'm going to switch cameras to this one. So this one right here is a little bit difficult. I think you were there when I was installing one the other week, where I had to take the wires, and I think I did it on stream once, where I soldered the wires together. So you have to cut a little hole on the main positive wire to get to your other wire, and you have to solder it together, making a three-way connection, which is weird. And then they don't use traditional style stickers on there. You have to take super glue and take the selector switch, and there's bars in the selector switch. And you have to glue this little piece right in the center of the sensor just to get it right. And if you mess it up, you got to do it again.
Well, if you guys aren't planning on installing these yourselves, you can just not worry about any of that, and we'll take care of it for you.
Yeah, I'll do that basically.
Yeah.
So
You can send some my way. I don't mind.
Yeah, we'll send some Garrett's way. But this is going to be the main one for you AK lovers. I know Kong is in the chat because Kong is calling us cute. Kong's AK, for instance, that I did for him, he has a V3 Titan in it. Much easier to work on, very fast and dropped in.
It's kind of scary though when you're squeezing all the wires through.
Oh yeah, so
my first install, I was pretty freaked out.
So I will say this:
you got to be careful.
MOSFET installs in V3s are a little bit more scarier than M4s because M4s you have to run them inside the gearbox to the back. When it comes to V3 MOSFETs, you have to take the wires and you have a hole that's a little bit smaller than the Dean's plug sometimes, and you have to find the perfect angle to get it in there without ruining your shims.
You have to pull all those wires through. Honestly, it's easier to do when the shell's bare. But what I have experienced with these Titans is that they have so many wires that are all, you know, just coming directly out of the board that you have to use a little bit of force to get that through, which is scary if you just spent, you know, $170 on a MOSFET, right? This one comes with the USB link, so it's a little bit more expensive. But there's also one other thing I know about the V3 Titans. Because they're optical,
it's a lot
the V2,
easier.
I think I showed you guys earlier, it was probably, I don't know, ballpark about like that big around. The V3s are actually quite a bit longer.
Here, it shows it on the back, kind of. I don't know if we can get
Does it have like a, yeah, probably don't worry about it. Anyways.
No. It's like a stick.
Yeah, so it's quite a bit longer. And it only has one hole where it's screwed into the gearbox. And airsoft replicas, when you shoot them and they're an AEG, they have a spring in there, stuff will tend to shake around. If you have an optical MOSFET and the actual sensors on either end of the board are shaking around a lot, that can cause problems. So you have to make sure when you put these in, you put them in tight. Not too tight so you don't break anything, but you know, there's a level of finesse to it.
All right. Oh, they're just talking to each other in the chat. I thought it was for us.
Well, have fun, guys.
So our final thoughts right now, because we're coming at the end of the stream right now. I feel like it's a positive stream. I know we didn't talk about the PERUN AB++.
Yeah, I don't know much about that one. I'll be honest. I don't think I've worked with them before.
I haven't really worked with that. I know Kevin has. If Kevin was here, he'll be able to like tell us right now.
Maybe it'll be my new favorite.
Maybe it's something that we come back and maybe do a custom with.
Sure.
But
yeah, I mean, take a quick look. While I'm doing that, what do you have to say to wrap us up?
So I would say
it looks like an ETU++,
but it might be
for every other kind of gun.
Well, let's read the directions real quick before we have to get off the screen.
No, we're not doing that on stream.
You don't want to read it out loud?
Boring.
It might be a story
Yawn.
time.
Hey guys, why don't we read out some instructions to you for a half hour?
So
exciting stream.
My final thoughts. Say if I was a new guest or a new customer coming up to tech department and I'm asking, what is the first thing you would upgrade in your gun?
What's your budget?
What's your budget?
That's what I would ask you. If you were the customer, I would say, what's your budget?
What would be the first thing you recommend?
Honestly, it all depends on the budget. That's usually the main framework that I try to.
$200 bucks.
$200 for what?
To make my G&G combat machine shoot really good.
I mean, if it has, if it has an ETU, we're just putting the backboard in, calling it a day. We don't even have to open the gearbox.
But if it was your gun, like take it as your air rifle, what would you do?
It depends, man, because it's like, okay, are we doing gears as well? How strong are they? What other parts are in the gearbox? What do we expect the amp draw to be? What kind of abuse does it have to hold up to? Honestly, that's just to say that each and all of these have their place. Don't expect, though, that you can throw in a PERUN ETU++ and plug a 60C into your DSG with an M180 spring and a 40K motor and expect it to last as long as something else. Or also probably don't build a 40K DSG. That would save you some headaches too.
I think I would just like, if you have the money and you have the time, I would stop by here and pick up one of our Gate Time basics right now. And I know we've had a couple guests.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with the type,
can't.
honestly.
You can't.
And if you want more features out of it, you can upgrade them. That's what's kind of nice.
Yeah, you can buy it online, or if you don't have the time to buy it online, you can buy the Advance. The Advance already has the settings that you could buy online.
If you know you like to tinker with your stuff, just get the Advanced.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna leave it here, I guess. Thank you for joining us for our stream, guys.
We got a lot of MOSFETs, guys.
We got a lot of MOSFETs. So I'm gonna leave it here just to remind you that we have live streams, and
Normally not on Friday.
normally not on Friday, but this is because we're testing new camera equipment. If you notice that it looks a lot cleaner. Any last words?
Sure.
Sure.
Let me think of some.
All right. Have a good day, guys.
We do live stream every day, but we only do a tech live stream like this where we're talking with you guys once a week. Usually that's going to be on Wednesday, somewhere between 6, 7 o'clock p.m. So you can expect to see us again there next week, or maybe it won't be him; it'll be the other guy, or maybe I'll be replaced with the other guy.
I think
we like to have guests on too. I think we bothered one of our friends from Airsoft Master a couple weeks ago. Shout out Mike G for showing up for that.
I think I'm going to be on the next one. I think that's what we have scheduled.
Okay.
And I might bring in something cool you guys might like.
Cool.
So we'll catch you guys later.
Take care, guys.